Good afternoon and welcome. This webinar is a collaboration between the U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs, VA Center for Faith-Based and Neighborhood Partnerships, CFBNP, and the Office of Human Resources and Administration. My name is Ploessl Pauling. I am the Senior Outreach Specialist in CFBNP. I will be your moderator this afternoon. Everyone's phone has been muted. If you have a question during the presentation today, please type it in the Q&A box on the right of your screen. I will read the questions at the end of the presentation, and the presenter will provide a response. This is a live recording. I would like to thank Mr. Greg Ploessl. We are so grateful for your time today. But before we get started, I would like to introduce Mr. Conrad Washington. Mr. Washington serves as the Director for the VA Center for Faith-Based and Neighborhood Partnerships. He is retired from the United States Marine Corps with 20 years of active duty service with a combat tour in 2004 in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom. Mr. Washington is a licensed minister actively serving in his faith. He received his master's degree of divinity in pastoral studies from Moody Theological Seminary. He also holds a master's in business management and a bachelor's of science degree in education. Additionally, he is a graduate of VA's class of 2017 Virtual Aspiring Leaders Program. Mr. Washington?
And thank you, Troy. I appreciate it. Thank all of you for joining us once again for our monthly webinars. We're excited about continuing rolling out various topics for you. I'm excited for today as well. We recognize there are a number of observances this month as we go into October. It's Church Safety and Security Month. It's also Clergy Appreciation Month. That happens the second Sunday in October. The celebration was established back in 1992 with the mission of uplifting and encouraging pastors, missionaries, and religious workers. So we want to take a moment and encourage all those who are serving in their faith. We know that you're doing great work. This also is a month to recognize Indigenous Peoples Day, which is Native American Day, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, Mental Illness Awareness Month, Domestic Violence. It's even Bullying Prevention Month, along with the National Book Month. So I'll stop there. The list probably goes on and on, but these observances are there so those folks in those categories can be recognized and we can recognize those topics that are important to us. I also want to take a moment and thank Craig for joining us again. We appreciate you, Craig, for stopping by and sharing information regarding the Veteran and Military Spouse Talent and Engagement Program, better known as VMSTEP. We appreciate you. I know today is going to be very informative for all of our guests. So thank you again for joining us today. I also will share that anti-Semitism is something that's happening across the nation and is growing and threatening the safety and security of Jewish people. This type of hate has surfaced so much that our president has established a working group to counter anti-Semitism and other forms of discrimination and bias. This kind of hate is being exposed by extremist groups and individuals from online and in person. We must be able to bring people together from all backgrounds, all faith, all ethnicities, in order to serve our veterans, families, caregivers, and beneficiaries. As we at the VA here, we're here to serve our veterans, and we appreciate all that you all do because we can't do it alone. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed today's webinar, and we look forward to connecting with you again. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Washington. At this time, I would like to introduce Mr. Craig Ploessl. Please read his entire bio on the screen. Craig currently serves as the Military Spouse Program Manager in the Office of the Veteran and Military Spouse Talent Engagement Program. He serves as a subject matter expert on all aspects of military spouse hiring and provides employment readiness assistance and outreach to military spouses along with veterans and transitioning service members. Greg holds a bachelor's and master's degree in human resource management from Columbia Southern University. He has completed several professional training courses and certifications during his 34+ years of federal service. At this time, I give you our presenter for today, Mr. Craig Ploessl, for today's presentation. Craig?
Outstanding. Thank you very much for the kind introduction. On behalf of my boss, well, first of all, good afternoon to everybody. On behalf of my boss, Dr. Sutton, and the entire veteran and military spouse talent engagement team, I'd like to thank Mr. Washington and the entire team at the Center for Faith-Based and Neighborhood Partnerships, along with all of you on the call today for this wonderful opportunity. I'd also like to thank each of you for the work you do each day to support our veterans and their families. It is much appreciated, and most importantly, a big thank you to all the veterans on the call today. Thanks for your service. As was mentioned, I spent 30 years on active duty in the Air Force and then 4 years, a little over 4 years as a civilian with the Air Force, overseeing all the recruiting programs before coming to the VA 8 months ago. It's been like a full circle. I spent nearly 25 years of my Air Force career in recruiting, bringing in new members and their families to serve our wonderful country, and to now have this opportunity to take care of our military and veteran community in a different capacity is a true honor. So whether you're a veteran, community supporter, or whatever your role is on this call today, you play an important role in developing our youth, and we need to show today's youth the positives of service. And I understand not everyone wants to serve in the military or are qualified to do so, but there are more than one way to serve, and we have many great opportunities here at the VA. We have the opportunity to serve those who have served, and we will discuss a few of those today. As they mentioned, as we're going throughout the presentation, if you have any questions, please add them to the Q&A section there, and we'll get to them at the end. And we'll also leave time for additional questions. If I don't have the answer, I promise I'll get it back to you. Slide there. If you are wanting to use the live captions today on WebEx meeting here in the bottom left-hand corner, you will see the little CC in the left-hand corner there. Highlight it. You can click on there to turn it on and off to toggle between on and off there for the closed caption option. As they mentioned, I work in the Veteran and Military Spouse Talent Engagement Program here at the VA. In our section, our role is to help facilitate the hiring of eligible military spouses, veterans, and transitioning service members. We do this through employment readiness assistance and outreach to the eligible military community. We want the VA to be the employer of choice when people are seeking employment, and we also want to retain the current members of our VA family. As this slide here shows, the VA strives to become the leader and the employer of choice for our veterans, military spouses, veterans' families, survivors, caregivers, and families across the federal government. Our support starts at the top and is supported by the leadership throughout the VA. We must make the VA the employer of choice and bring our heroes over to serve other heroes. So you're probably asking yourself, what is it that we do in the Veteran and Military Spouse Talent Engagement Program, as we call it, VMSTEP, to assist the veteran and military spouse along with those transitioning from the military? Our key thing is to do a lot of outreach events, whether it be in person or virtually through some of our partners at job fairs focused on the military community. We work internally with hiring managers and human resource specialists to educate them on the available hiring authorities and encourage the use of the authorities to help with hiring of veterans and our military spouses. We do monthly webinars focused on the federal application process, from writing an effective federal resume, reviewing a job opportunity announcement in USA Jobs, building a profile within USA Jobs, and how to effectively navigate USA Jobs. We do this, like I said, we do these webinars monthly. We post these on USA Jobs in the events section. So if you're interested in attending one, we do them monthly. Normally they are on the third Tuesday of each month at 2 p.m. Via WebEx. The next one should be 2 weeks from today. We're finalizing the details, and you should see it out on USA Jobs sometime early next week after the holiday there. We also provide training on interviewing skills, dressing for success for the interview. We work with our partners at the Department of Defense and the other federal agencies to capture the attention of those who are transitioning from service, to provide valuable training throughout different programs, which we'll talk about a little bit later, like SkillBridge, Warriors of Workforce. We like to tell employers and internally within the VA that our veteran and military spouses provide a diverse and extensive background to any team based on their cultures, perspective, thoughts, and talents, and any team would be fortunate to have them. Having this talent allows us to better serve our veterans, their families, and survivors. And then once we have this extremely talented and diverse workforce, we do our best to have the programs in place to retain them by using outside the box thinking and being flexible when and where we can. We offer these services that I talked about here to veteran organizations, military affiliate organizations on base and post, or any other organization that may be interested in helping our military community through outreach and veteran hiring programs and military spouse. So if you're on this call today and you have an interest in our team, potentially helping your team with some of these services I've mentioned, whether it be the federal resume, Dress for Success, how to actually navigate USA Jobs and such, please reach out and we'll see if we're able to assist your organization and we can come up with a mutual time and set up a routine to do this. We're here to serve as you are. The first area we'll look at in our program that we handle is the veterans. Our program manager for this is Ms. Cassia Davis. Here are some of the hiring authorities for veterans, which help ensure that our qualified veteran population is afforded the opportunity to apply for positions that may be just the right fit for the veteran and also for the hiring manager seeking to fill a vacancy quickly. We advise our VA hiring managers that the veteran referral they receive is someone that Human Resources has reviewed all the supporting documentation and ensures that the person meets requirements of the job opportunity announcement. This is one of the fastest ways for a manager to add qualified talent to fill their workforce needs. We'll look at a few of these different preferences right here, like the 30% or more disabled veteran appointment allows any veteran with a 30% or more service-connected disability to be hired without competition. If disabled, you will initially receive a non-competitive, time-limited appointment of at least 60 days. This position can be converted to a career or career conditional appointment based on a successful performance. By doing this, this allows the management team the opportunity to evaluate the performance before making a final offer or a permanent career appointment. For the 30% or more, there is no grade restriction for appointment under the authority. You can come in anywhere from, again, there is no restriction on appointment GS5 to GS15. Who is eligible for this appointment? Disabled veterans who retired from active military service with a service-connected disability rating of 30% or more, or a disabled veteran rated by the VA as having a compensable service-connected disability of 30% or more. During the interview or during the application process, you'll need to provide a copy of your DD Form 214, which is the member copy that shows your period of service, which you are claiming the preference for, your disability rating letter from the VA, along with standard Form 15 that will show your proof of eligibility. The next one on the list there is the Veterans Recruitment and Appointment, better known as VRA. This one allows agencies to hire eligible veterans based on their VRA eligibility or based on a veteran service-connected disability without competition. For the VRA, the appointment for these positions are up to a GS11 or equivalent without having to compete for the position. VRAs can be used to fill temporary, not to exceed 1 year, or a term more than 1 year but not to exceed 4-year positions. Those who are hired to fill a temporary or term position of VRA can be later converted to a career or career conditional appointment after 2 years of successful performance. For this year one, you do not have to be on the list of eligible candidates for the position. However, you must meet the basic qualifications for the position when applying. So you still have to meet whatever's not in the job opportunity announcement. You still have to go through, shows your qualifications, and when you apply or submit your resume, you need to show that you're qualified for the position. And veterans, there is no limitation on how many times you can use the VRE or VRA appointment. And for this one here, eligible is any disabled veteran or veteran with active duty time during war or during time when a campaign badge is authorized, or a veteran who received an Armed Forces Service Medal, or recently separated veterans typically within the last 3 years and were separated under honorable conditions. Again, like the previous one, you have to have a copy of your DD Form 214, which is the member copy that shows the period of service which you are claiming a preference. So, namely, if you're trying to, during the time of war or others, your 214 should show that on there that you served during those time. And the next one on this, we're going to look at the bottom one there, is the disabled veterans enrolled in VA training programs. So this here one is for disabled veterans who completed training or work experience under the VA Rehabilitation Training Program and received a certificate of training allowing the agency to hire the veteran without competition. Upon completion, the veteran can be appointed non-competitively for a period of 1 year in the series and grade of the position of which a training was completed under status quo appointment, which later can be converted to career or career conditional at any time. So if the veteran is going through training for a human resource specialist, then the occupation series that he or she would be appointed into, the veteran has to go into a job that's related to the training they received. All the training is tailored to your needs and goals as a veteran, so there is no set length on how long the training can be. We want to ensure that we're meeting the needs of the veteran that's here one. Allows hiring managers also under the disabled veteran training program there to hire quickly once they've completed training without any competition or without even having to issue a vacancy announcement. And for this one, eligibility is for disabled veterans who have completed the prescribed training under a VA vocational rehab program. Got a DD Form 214, and then for this one, a 20% or more rating disability letter from the VA. So as you can see, there's lots of great programs for veterans when it comes to hiring. On the next slide there, we're going to look at our transitioning military members. Mrs. Heidi Martin is the program manager for our transitioning service members. The first program we'll take a look at is the DoD, or better known as Department of Defense Skill Bridge program, which is a great opportunity for our service members to gain valuable civilian work experience through specific industry training, apprenticeships, or internships during their last 180 days of service. The Skill Bridge connects a service member with industry partners and real-world job experiences. And this, for the service member, Skill Bridge provides an invaluable chance to work and learn in civilian career areas prior to separation. And for our industry partners, Skill Bridge is an opportunity to leverage the world's most highly trained and motivated workforce at no cost. Our service members who are participating in Skill Bridge continue to receive their military compensation and benefits, and industry partners provide the training and work experience. This is an area we're always looking at ways to expand at the VA, and along with other corporate sponsors, to bring our newest veterans over to assist, and especially here in the VA, on how we can bring them over to work with our current veteran population. It's a win-win for all of us. So we continue to look for opportunities to expand our DoD Skill Bridge program. The next one there is the Warriors to Workforce program. It's a program that offers veterans an opportunity to transition into a contracting career in the federal government by applying their military skills and experience to the federal workforce. The program focuses on transitional support, mentoring, professional development, and foundational career training activities. Interns complete the program as a cohort fortified by a built-in support system that mirrors the team environment and camaraderie that they experienced in the military. These relationships create a foundation for a lasting professional network throughout their career once they leave the military. This Warrior to Workforce program is the first training and development program of its kind for transitioning training, and which offers a direct job placement in the civil service. The VA's hybrid program design shortens the learning curve and provides a career roadmap for our wounded warriors. The program participants are hired into the Warriors to Workforce program as a GS5 federal employee and complete 4 main program components: business education, professional development, peak performance training, and mission service. The federal contract specialist career field that they're going to be going into requires 24 hours of college business credits. The the program helps veterans obtain that positive education requirement while providing a federal job with full benefits and a rewarding professional career path in federal contracting. Once the veteran obtains the positive education requirement and successfully completes the Warriors 2 workforce program, they are converted to a contract specialist on a GS-79 career ladder track and enroll in the acquisition intern program, which will allow them to continue to move up the ladder and gain additional experience. Warrior to Workforce serve as a foundation to our acquisition intern program. Here, participants learn the essential technical and professional competencies for contracting professionals in a learning environment with real-world work scenarios. Upon successful completion of the acquisition intern program, interns are strategically infused into our acquisition workforce at the VA to meet the needs of the federal contracting organizations throughout the country or other federal organizations. This program hires, transitions, and trains veterans with service-connected disability and little to no post-high school education for a career in federal recruiting or federal contracting and acquisitions. The Warriors to Workforce program is currently accepting resumes up until October 15th of 2023 for the next class is going to start. And I will, in the slides, if not, if I can put them in the chat or give them the will, I can provide the email address that you can visit or send an email to about, or to learn more about the program. We'll definitely get that information to you. The next one we're going to look at is the VA Warrior Training Advancement Course, or better known as WARTAC. This is another great opportunity for our wounded warriors and transitioning service members. It gives them 8 to 12 weeks of education training along with employment. During the time, our the service members learn how to become veteran service representatives, which means they're looking at medical records and helping our transitioning service members with any, or those who are already out of the military with their disability claims and such. The members can complete the training for the WARTAC program during the final 100 days of active duty, and this here is another great way that leads to potential full-time employment at the VA. And the final one, definitely not the least important one, but a great program that we're truly looking to fill needs across the VA currently, along with the rest of them, is the VA Intermediate Care Technician Program. This initiative serves as a pipeline for our well-trained clinical staff that can be hired at different VA medical professionals. It's also a great civilian career path for former medics and corpsmen, anyway with advanced medical training while in the military. This allows them to apply their skills and come over and take care of veterans at our VA team and their families. So these are great programs that we're really emphasizing with our transition service members. We know they have options when it's get ready to end their military time, but we hope they would consider service with the VA because it's a great opportunity to continue to serve and also to get to take care of heroes like themselves. So we push these programs along with others to bring over our transitioning service members. And the next program we're going to look at here is the Military Spouse Program. As we mentioned earlier, I serve as a program manager for this here one. It's a program like the other ones, the veterans and the transition, they're all near and dear to me. The military spouse is another one of those that we're really trying to make lots of changes and continue to work together to improve. And these are some of the efforts that we talked about. And I might have seen a question pop in the corner of my eye about the program no longer being sunset in 2023, but going to 2028. I'm assuming it's under the military spouse, but we'll take a look at the questions later. So let's hear one. A recent report from the Department of Defense Office of People Analytics showed approximately 21% of military spouses are unemployed. And there's even a higher amount that report them being underemployed, not working in the field that they may have went to school for, just because they're looking for employment. And this is one of the largest, if not largest, unemployed demographics, which is the military spouse. This, along with other items, have an impact on recruiting and retention of our service members. And I think we all can agree that this is, it is having an impact on our current recruiting and retention of our members. And it's having and it's one of those that we have to continue to tackle. And back in June, President Biden signed Executive Order 14100, which is the first one on the slide there, advancing economic security for military and veteran spouses, military caregivers, and survivors. The executive order has many parts, but one of the critical pieces that we, the VA, are working with our federal partners is developing and issuing a government-wide military and veteran spouse, military caregiver, and survivor hiring and retention strategic plan within 180 days of when the executive order was signed back in June. So we're within 2 months of that being released. I was on a call right before joining this call to look at where we're at on the strategic plan. And we're doing a lot of great work there, and we will have it out in time to meet the early December deadline. And the key change that occurred in early in 2019, and again, it was extended again another 5 years. It was this year's national, for FY23 National Defense Authorization Act, which doesn't require the spouse to move with a service member in order to be considered for the military spouse hiring authority. And then you can see there's other key items that have gone on over the years of, through executive orders and such to help with the hiring of military spouses, which is a great, whether you're an organization aligned, your military spouses play a critical role in our national defense. And here's some closer look at some of the military spouse hiring authorities. The hiring authority is available to all federal agencies for hiring certain eligible military spouses. I always like to let folks know that there is the Department of Defense has a hiring preference for military spouse that is only applicable to the Department of Defense and their vacancies, whereas the other federal agencies have a special hiring authority for military spouses. And this is the different categories of military spouses that applies to: spouse of service members of the armed forces on active duty, spouses of service members who incurred 100% disability because of service members' active duty service, or spouses of service members killed while on active duty. There's great opportunity. We're trying to get more announcements out on USA Jobs that hire or that have the that show that the job is open to military spouses, for awareness for our military spouses. We partner with the DoD Military Spouse Employment Partnership. If you're a private organization on call here and you have opportunity for potentially hiring military spouses, the DoD has hundreds of organizations outside the federal government that partner with them with announcing or advertising positions and such. So I ask that if you're one of those, look into that program as well. On the next slide here, we'll talk about some of the great organizations who share the same mission that we do, caring for our veterans and their families, caregivers, and survivors, as we strive to make the VA the employer of choice for our veterans and military spouses, families, and our transitioning service members. There are many resources available to you. And I think I've seen the slides will be made available to anybody on the call today. We can, our my email address is in the will be open as well, along with our team address. If we can help spread the word, help more veterans and their families, whatever we can do to assist, that's what we're here for. Our team is made up of lots of individuals who care and the mission they hear. We also same with Mr. Washington and his team. We really believe in what we do, and again, thank Mr. Washington and his team for giving me this opportunity today to come and just do a quick discussion of what we do at the Veteran and Military Spouse Talent Engagement Program. And we all share the same mission. And there is the slide with my email address along with the website for our office. That website has all kinds of information. It's just not related to jobs. It's, it can get you to other sites within the VA. The same thing I mentioned about the resume and different tabs out there. It'll also have our link to our next webinar for the federal resume. So check it out, share it. If you're, whatever your role is on this call today, if you want to post it someplace to help fellow veterans and their families as well, please do that. We encourage people to share this site. There's also, things that you can provide to veterans as well and their families. All right, Will, I'm going to go into those questions.
Thank you so much, Greg, for that very informative presentation. We appreciate you. Now we will address any questions in the Q&A box to the right of your screen. I will read the questions out loud and you will provide a response. If we are unable to get around to your questions today, we will get your questions down and Greg will get back to you. We do have your email addresses. If you need to reach out to the presenter, please see his point of contact information on the screen. You can also reach out to our team. You'll see our point of contact in a few minutes on the screen. So to our first question, it's coming from Charlotte Newton. Excuse me. And she says, I'm feeling paralyzed by fear and ignorance in undertaking that I was eligible for DIC income upon my husband's death, January 13th, 2020. As a caregiver for my husband's various health concerns, I to this day is honored to have been faithful in this regard. I struggle to maintain and upkeep our home so that when it is time for me to move to a senior center and not burdened by my adult children and their families, it has been hard, and I am grateful in your mercy to beg for reconsideration of the DIC. So maybe you could talk a little bit about the DIC and what it is, Greg, that she is referring to.
Yeah, I can't give her, I don't want to give Miss Charlotte any wrong information because it's a very important question and one that we need to address. And you said you have her contact information?
Yes, we do have
Good.
everyone's
Okay.
contact
Good.
information.
We can get that over to VBA because that will fall under the benefits section, and then they can reach out and we get the right person over at VBA. I have some connections over there with some personnel, and we can get that and see if they can look at her case and reach out to her and provide her world-class customer service that we do for all of our veterans and their families.
And the DIC she's referring to, Greg, is the dependent indemnity
Yes.
program.
Yes.
DIC.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that would definitely be a VBA question, and that's definitely something we can give them, and they can look at her case and see what we can do to further assist. And
okay, so Ms. Newton will be referring your inquiry over to the Veterans Benefit Administration because that program falls under them, and someone will be getting back with you. We don't have any more questions, Greg, so at this time.
well, I had that one from I'd see a gentleman, someone put in, a veteran put in their a question about their disabled veteran with certain rating and went to school for VRE, I believe it says. I'm trying to read it closely here.
I do see a question from Mr. Robert Kazor. I am a veteran with disability rating of 30% and completed VRE with bachelor's degree.
Yeah. So
Yes.
yeah, Mr. Robert, if you want, you can submit your resume. And if you've looked out on USA Jobs, or send me an email, and I will get you in the right area to see if we can help you with the answer correctly and get you there. Help you out.
Okay. Thank you so much. There's another question from someone by the name of Carol. Is this good for veterans, adult children? or adult child to get a job?
Yeah, and so I always encourage everybody to apply, go to USA Jobs, and all of our services that we provide for resume training and all those things that we do on our webinars for, they're open to the public, just not veterans and currently serving and military spouses. Because we know that sometimes, like Carol mentions there, veteran's child, you know, they want to continue to, their family member, father or mother or an uncle or aunt, someone served and they want to continue to serve in the federal government. Maybe not in the military, like I said up front, but there are many great ways to serve. So I always encourage folks to look at USA Jobs, reach out to our, and go to our training and learn about how to properly do a federal resume. Because yes, the federal resume is different than a resume you would use to apply for a job with corporate America. And we'll help educate you on that, how to navigate USA Jobs, and then that will allow them to continue to serve too. And serving with the federal government is, we always like to say, the desire is low right now. Not because it's more about people not aware of the different opportunities, how to serve, and the different agencies. So we're trying to really educate folks about the importance of service. And obviously, we'd let them serve with the VA, but if they choose another federal agency, we're okay with that as well.
Okay, thank you so much, Greg. And we have a question from someone by the name of Roger. What is the age limit on the veterans employment?
Roger, there is no age limit. If you meet the qualifications and you want to apply for a position, or someone that wants to apply for a position, and you meet the basic requirements of the position you're applying for, and you have the documentation to be considered for veteran employment, submit it and be considered. And then I always tell everybody, I just did a resume two weeks in a row, last week and the week before. The resume is the key, getting that resume in and making sure, because that is your application when it comes to federal employment, to ensure that it has the necessary words and shows your experience and you're qualified for the position. Age is not a factor. If someone is qualified and eligible to perform the duties.
Thank you so much, Greg. I'm looking to make sure there are no more questions in the Q&A box here. I don't see any at this point. Again, if you do have a question for Greg, please forward that directly to him or to one of us here, and we'll be glad to get back to you with that answer. At this time, I'm going to turn the mic back over to Mr. Washington for closing remarks.
Thanks, Drew. Hey, Craig, thank you again for joining us. We appreciate you. Great information, very informative. And if any of you out there need additional information, you saw Craig's information on the screen. Now you see ours as well. You can reach out to the team here. We can try to assist you as well. And just as a reminder, we do these webinars every month, 3 to 4 of them. As a matter of fact, we have in-person outreach events as well. This past Saturday, we were in Detroit, Michigan. This Thursday, we're heading over to Maryland to work with Misty Bruce. She's the executive director for the Maryland Center for Veterans Education and Training. And we also have a webinar coming up as well on October 17th, which is our SAVE prevention training, suicide prevention. Ms. Lily Mills will be providing that. So we look forward to you just connecting with us. So please reach out if you need anything from us, and we thank you for joining us today. Take care. Back over to you, Tree.
Thank you so much, Mr. Washington. At this point, if you register for this event, we will provide you with today's presentation. Please subscribe to our website and Facebook for future webinars. Thank you so much for joining us today. This adjourns today's webinar. Thank you and goodbye. Have a good day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.